you spiritually feel something coming, you don't know what it is, and God's like, oh, you gonna find out what it is. I'm about to prune the crap out of you. Today is Valentine's Day. So for everybody, happy Valentine's Day. For me and Shauna, we've decided that we're going to pretend it's not Valentine's Day and celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow. Today is Taxes Day for me and Shauna. So that is either a good day or a bad day. I just pulled up to my accountant and we're going to see if it's a good day or a bad day. So we decided, and we have church tonight. Shauna's got nursery. We got all these things going on. So today is not Valentine's Day. I'll see you tomorrow, and then I'll tell you happy Valentine's Day from me and Shauna. Okay, the last thing that everybody seen was me saying, I don't know if it's going to be a good day or not. I'll let you know after I'm done with the tax lady. Is it a good day?
It's a good day.
Okay, it's a good day. Yeah, the tax lady. Well, I called her my accountant, I think. I may have said CPA, accountant. It's my cousin. My cousin is my tax. We don't owe any money for taxes. We're getting a refund. So that is such a blessing right there. That's a bigger blessing than anything ever today. So I really shouldn't say that, should I? Like there's so many more blessings. So you think you're the blessing because it's Valentine's Day? You're the blessing?
No, do you not understand how Valentine's Day works?
Apparently I don't. So give me the history of Valentine's Day.
It's about love.
Give me the history of Saint Valentine and what he did to where they named a Valentine's Day.
Who do you love?
Jesus.
Besides Jesus.
God. There's one more that I'm going to put before you. You want to do that one too? The Holy Spirit.
Okay.
All right.
After that.
Shauna.
Okay.
All right. All right. You're fourth in line. It's pretty good, Shauna. If you don't aggravate your wife, are you even married? Okay, so both yesterday and today's vlog is going to be really, really short, and I'm sorry about that, but I do have a clip that I told y'all I was going to upload in a separate video. I decided I'm just going to put it in this video because the vlog is so short. So here is 2 or 3 days ago when I shot that really weird vlog and it ended weird, and here's the clip of me talking about that vlog, and I love you guys, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. The day before yesterday's vlog ended really weird, like this part right here. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. There will be a vlog no matter what. Yeah. So I know that was like really kind of odd, and I wanted to try to explain the best way that I can for anybody who keeps up with my vlog what's just going on, because it's not just as you know, it's not just a creative way for me to shoot videos, and it's really not a follow me as I walk through every single day, like everything that I do all day, every day. More or less, it's just uploading fun videos throughout the day of just different things, and also just me trying to be encouraging as much as I can every day, trying to put in something encouraging to just shine, just be a light the best that I can. But I'm in a season, and it was such a weird, just a weird feeling of, okay, I can already tell this is not going to be the easiest conversation. It's really hard to explain sometimes your emotions and your feelings, because they lie to you. You could be feeling like God's a million miles away, you could be feeling, so it's difficult. And I don't want to sit here and try to say, well, I was feeling like this. What I'd rather do is shed some light on the reason that I feel like those emotions and those feelings were there, and what I was getting, the download that I was getting from God. And I think it's important to share not just the encouraging things, but I think it's important to share the times where you receive correction and the times where you receive God just telling you, hey, this is not the best thing that you should be doing. I feel like it's important for me to be very honest and very real, even when it's not like just me trying to be encouraging, but when it's me talking about me feeling like that I'm receiving a lot of correction from God. And that's exactly what everything boiled down to. I shot that video on a Wednesday night, and I remember I was in men's meeting on Wednesday nights. The men and the women of my church, they separate, and we have, all men's meeting and an all women's meeting. And so we can talk just real specific to men about what it is to be a man, to be a leader of the household, and just things like that. And so anyway, I remember sitting in men's meeting, and I remember my pastor talking about, well, the Lord's really been speaking to me about this, and the Lord's really been speaking to me about that. And I remember, sorry guys, I'm really not trying to cut this thing to pieces. Sometimes I find it really difficult. As much as I talk, I find it really difficult to figure out the best way to adequately verbalize, the point that I'm trying to get across. But I almost found myself getting frustrated into a point to where I was like, I really wanted to be the little kid who was just like, God, why don't I hear your voice? And you ever hear somebody say, God woke me up in the middle of the night and he started telling me this? And I'm like, God, you don't wake me up in the middle of the night. Like, God, I don't hear your voice like that. You don't download stuff to me like that. And like, I found myself getting really almost frustrated, even though I so know better than that. Like, you realize that you're about to get frustrated with the creator of the universe. You realize, Almighty God, you're about to catch attitude with him. And so it is almost like, as respectfully as I could be, I felt like I wanted to say, God, this is how I feel. I feel like I want to be frustrated. Like, why ain't you talking to me? But really, it was a end of my rope kind of thing, because in the past few weeks, you've been seeing the vlogs. I've been feeling like I've been pursuing, man, it's so good. I've been feeling like I've been pursuing more. Like, God, I don't want to be average. I want to press in. I see a lot of people who are comfortable. Let me just go to church once a week. And that's great, guys. I've said this before. That's great. But I don't want to just go to church once a week and just be happy. I want to press in. I want to see mighty moves of God. I want to see revival, And so, like, God, I'm doing this. And like, you're not talking to me. What's going on? And by the end of the night, I realized that God is not okay, like, mediocre. He's not okay with hypocrisy. He's not okay with, he's so okay with advancing. He's so okay with you pressing in. Like, what a desire of his heart to see his children pressing in. But what I'm trying to say is, if you want to go down that road, like, golly, I'm running into this place again where I feel like I don't know how to adequately say what I'm trying to say. God will not let you go get far down that road without starting to prune you. Like, he's very much so okay, and he desires that. But I realized that night, and the next morning, God really started speaking to me. You're trying to choose to go down this path. I'm good with that, but you better make sure what you're signing up for, because you got a lot of stuff that is about to start getting pruned. You want to go there, like, you're going to have to come to the end of yourself, and you're going to have to start getting pruned. And so God started showing me some really nasty things that I didn't even know that were in there, that just got crept in my heart, that I didn't even know was in there. And he started pulling these things out of me, like started showing me, do you see your attitude in this area? Do you see your heart when it comes to this? And I was like, oh my God. And I was literally just like saying all this stuff to Shauna as it was coming up. And I felt like, oh, wretched man that I am. Like, how dare I pursue God with this nasty stuff in my heart? And so by the end of the night and by the next morning, I just felt like, it's hard to explain, because I didn't feel like that ooey gooey love of God, but like, I so felt loved in a way of, he loves me enough to where he loves me enough to not let me get any further down this path before he starts showing me that there's a lot of pride in that. There's a lot of pride in my heart, guys. This is just me trying to explain and hoping and praying you guys can get something from it. But there was a lot of pride in my heart to think that all I have to do is just press in, and that God's going to show up in a mighty way. It takes a lot more than that. I'm not talking about works, but it takes a willingness to say, like don't think that you're going to be able to walk down that road and have junk. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about obvious junk. I'm not talking about skeletons in my closet, but I'm talking about, there's a little pride here. That's not going to fly. Because, like, when you start pressing into holy God, all that stuff is going to start coming up. And all I could think about was, like, when the Bible talks about the silversmith heats up the silver, and there's this stuff called the dross. Look this up. It's a really, really cool process of how to purify silver. The silversmith will heat up the silver, and all the impurities all floats to the top, and it forms this junk at the top. and it's called dross, if I'm not mistaken, like dross, and the silversmith will scrape all that dross off the top and get all that out of there. And so it's a purified by a heating and a purified by fire, and that is the stuff that I was just like, I don't, not that I don't need that, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna press in and God's gonna come, and God's like, oh, I am, but if I do, like, I really hope you guys are getting something out of this. That the whole thing is, I was getting to where I was like, God, I'm pressing in, but I don't hear you. God, I'm pressing in, but I don't hear you. And I think if I could leave you with any kind of takeaway, it's if you get to a place to where you feel like I'm not really hearing God, God's not speaking all that much, a lot of times it's because the things that he's really wanting to speak on, your heart really has to be open to hear. There really has to be submission. He's got to really get you to the place to where I want you, God, no matter what. And that was where I was at the other Wednesday night. Was I was getting almost to the point of frustration, like, where you at, God? Where you at? Like, I feel like and I get it, guys. Like, how dare you even think this way? But I'm doing my part, God. Where are you? Why ain't you speaking to me? You know what I mean? And God's like, well, I want to speak to you, but the things that I want to start with, the things that I want to start telling you, you got to be in a place to where you're ready to hear it. So finally, when I was like, I just want to hear you, I don't care what it is, God said, okay, now we can start the process. And the process is purification. The process is, let's start getting some of this junk out, because he whom he loves, he's going to chasten. And if he loves you, he's going to prune you. And that's not always easy. So anyway, it kind of explains a little bit of why that vlog was so weird, and the ending of that vlog was so weird, is because I had a lot of junk and God was about to start pruning me, and that just spiritually on the inside of you feels weird. You spiritually feel something coming, you don't know what it is, and God's like, oh, you gonna find out what it is. I'm about to prune the crap out of you.